Hey guys, just got back from the theater from seeing Delivery Man. Originally, I was gonna go to the theater on Wednesday when they had all the new releases, but because I live in Ohio and because was hit with pretty much a pretty nasty snowstorm uh, Tuesday and Wednesday, I decided to stay in and not risk it, especially when there wasn't really any particularly anything that caught my interest. Um, and I figured I'd get around to the theater eventually. Um, and I went to my grandparents actually called me up and asked me if I wanted to go to theaters. We decided to go see Delivery Man. Delivery Man is a movie that I kind of just I haven't seen many previews leading up to this movie. I saw a trailer for this movie once, and that was about it. I've seen a few commercials here and there, and from what I saw, it looked alright. I mean, I like Vince Vaughn, and the kind of even though the concept was a little absurd for this movie. I mean, really, a guy who has or produces 500 kids, I highly doubt that's really possible. Maybe I'm wrong. I still highly doubt it, but I maybe I'm wrong about that, but I don't know. But it looked alright. I was like, this movie looks harmless. And yeah, you know what? Coming out of it, it was it was not bad. It was nothing great. It was just alright comedy. It was alright comedy slash drama. Um, it wasn't that bad. I didn't hate it. I didn't walk away really mad about it. Um, Especially of the year of after the year of movies I've had to see, and the bunch of crap that I've had to see over the last year. This is far and few. This is far from being one of the worst movies I've seen all year. Um, and I would recommend it. I wouldn't recommend seeing this movie like at a for a full theater price. Like I would maybe wait till it got to cheap theater or wait till it came out on Redbox or something. It's a nice way to kill a couple hours. I mean, I know it sounds like I'm insulting the movie, but it's not that bad of a movie. I mean, if it's a bad movie, I wouldn't recommend it to you. Even I wouldn't even recommend it to you to watch on Redbox. Um, I liked Vince Vaughn in this movie. Vince Vaughn is a guy that I like as a comedic actor, but at the same time, he's his stick is starting to get old. He basically plays the same exact character in almost every one of his films. And what's kind of different about this one, people might disagree with me on this one, but I think uh, what makes this one a little different is that this movie's a little bit more of a drama than a comedy. And that's what's kind of misleading about this movie is that the trailers is that it makes it look more like a comedy, and it really isn't. It deals with some pretty dark issues here and there. It deals with tough subjects here and there, and Vince Vaughn. It requires Vince Vaughn to go back to serious acting, and it's kind of nice to see him back at doing that. I mean, we haven't seen that since like I swear since Psycho, which I think that killed his like dramatic career for God's sakes. And luckily, he went to the comedic route because I like Vince Vaughn a lot, and he's fine in this, and uh, I think he does well in the dramatic role and everything else. One person I really particularly liked about in this movie was Chris Pratt, who plays his lawyer best friend. He's the guy from Parks and Recreation, and he's done a lot of other things. He's been featured in a lot of movies lately, like Zero Dark 30, and he's about to be in Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff like that. And I really like him, and he's really funny in this. He has some really funny lines in this movie. He even has a joke about abortion in this movie. He delivers a line about a joke about abortion in this movie. It happens during one of the scenes that you've probably seen in the trailer, if you've seen any of the trailers or previews. Um, he's outside talking to Vince Vaughn, and Vince Vaughn has just found out that Colby Smulders, who is his girlfriend, is pregnant, and this is something you find out very early on, so this is not much of a spoiler. But he Vince Vaughn comes to him to tell him about this, and Chris Pratt, he's like, Vince Vaughn is like, oh, this might be a blessing. This might be a sign for me to change my life around. This might be a really great thing for me. And Chris Pratt's immediate reaction is, you gotta get her to have an abortion, man. He's like, what? He's like, you gotta have her have an abortion. I'm like, really? And normally we kind of go, that's a despicable thing to say, but he kind of says it in a funny way. And I laughed about it. And honestly, I was the only one who laughed at that joke. That's how big of a kind of like a touchy subject abortion is. But I like how fucking people lighten up. I know people. I mean, it is a tough subject, but it was a funny. It was a kind of a funny line that would be his first response. Literally, that's his first response when Vince Vaughn tells him. That kind of makes me laugh. Colby Smulders, who I haven't seen much of her other than the Avengers, was pretty good in this. She was. I know she's starting to be a lot more. I've never seen her in anything else other than the Avengers. I don't know what else she's been in, but anybody, I'm sure somebody could tell me in the comments. It's when I said my 12 Years a Slave review, somebody told me pretty much gave me the IMDb of the main guy in 12 Years of a Slave. I was like, oh, okay. That's nice. I did ask, I like what else this guy had been in, but all right, the half that stuff I had not even seen, which is kind of funny. But yeah, Colby Smulders is fine in this movie. Everybody's really good in this. There was only one role I could not really stand, and that was the kid. One of the kids that plays, or one of the 500 kids he has. He kind of like, throughout the movie, he's basically like stalking these people, which is kind of creepy. If you really think about it, sit there and think about it, he like consistently follows these people and almost won't leave them alone. Some ways, even though sometimes they're asking, although he does conveniently help a lot of them, which is just ironic. But anyways, he meets this one kid, figures out who he really is. Like, the whole thing is that he, obviously when you go to sperm clinic, he, had some, became anonymous. He went under the name Starbuck, and he, one of the kids finds out and goes to his house, and basically Vince Vaughn becomes friends with this kid so he won't spill his guts about, or spill out the secret, because he don't want everybody to know. And this kid is really fucking annoying. He's like a douchebaggery kind of guy who's like, oh, Tolstoy, or what, just talking all these stupid literature shit and vegetarian shit. I could not stand that kid. I really could not stand that kid. He was the only kid in that movie that you're in this movie that you're introduced to that I really couldn't stand. I thought all the kids were fine that you get to meet were fine. This movie does deal with some pretty tough subjects. While at points some of his kids are doing really well, like one is a New York Knicks player. How convenient. One's an actor he meets that just gets his first big role. Another, there's others are musicians, all that stuff like that. But then you meet there's one girl, he just pretends to be a pizza delivery guy who is a heroin addict. And honestly, I was kind of half predicting, because he has the option, he tells the doctor that he's her dad, and he has the option to put her into rehab, but but she won't do it. And she says, I'll do better, I'll do better. I half expected how kind of dramatic this movie was going, that she was going to die by the end of this film. And there was a point in this film I actually thought she did, but she didn't. I was really half expecting that to happen, but it doesn't go that route, thank God, because that would be really fucking dark. Because then make him be at fault for killing her, basically, because he did not let her go into rehab, did not sign her off to go into rehab. It is kind of dark. I mean, that would have been really dark. And then he also has, he finds out he has a mentally handicapped kid that's in a wheelchair, and he has some really touching moments. And it's really kind of sweet moments. He actually goes, and he's kind of hesitant at first to meet this kid, and he eventually does, and he actually continues to visit him and stuff like that. And I thought that was really cool. And you know what? This is something I want to rant on. During the scene when you first meet this handicapped kid, I mean, he's literally just, he's unresponsive, and he's just, it looks like, I'm not going to try to reenact, it's insulting to the guy. But I heard fucking snickering, like, hee, like from teenagers below. You're fucking ignorant. People, I mean, these are normal, these are people with disabilities and stuff, and that they're, can't live a normal life like a lot of other people. But Jesus Christ, don't be fucking ignorant. It's not funny that somebody's handicapped. I think it's right. When people make insults, I mean, that's pretty bad. I thought that was pretty sad that people were laughing at that. I mean, this movie does go some dramatic routes. I did have a couple questions about this movie, though. This is something that, like, a couple questions I left this movie with. One, where are these people's other parents? You never see any of these kids' parents, other parents, or their moms, or their dads, or anything. You don't see any of them. Where the fuck are they? Two, where's Chris Pratt's parent, or, wife? They had these kids with. I never seen, did he explain at one point? Apparently this guy's taking care of him by himself because there's no wife to be seen whatsoever. I'm kind of like, where the fuck did the kids go? Wait, did it? No, yeah, they never, because, I was sitting there thinking about it for a second. No, they never mentioned his wife whatsoever. So, apparently he's taking care of these kids on his own. What's the story behind that? Really, I was worried for a second, like, because at the beginning of this movie, you're introduced to this plot line that Vince Vaughn owes, like, $80,000, to these, like, criminals, like, this, like, it almost seems like the mob. I really didn't understand the storyline, but it kind of just drops off. And at one point, I was like, they ever gonna go back to that storyline? Like, really, are they ever gonna go back to that? Like, and then they eventually do, and then you're like, because by that point, you kind of forget about it. Like, the fuck? Also, I don't understand really why people are, because, like, when they find out that, like, what the whole point is that these kids are going to court to try to find out who their real dad is. They don't want money. They don't want anything like that. They just want to find out what is, and I can understand that. But then there's some parts of this where I kind of go, huh? Like at one point they're trying to say these kids are psychologically affected by them not having a dad. All the kids that you meet look happy as hell, except for the heroin addict girl who does better, she gets better and stuff like that. She looks fine. Everybody looks fine. What's the fucking New York Knicks? Like, really? That's a stupid... And also, I don't understand why they're bashing Vince Vaughn's character, like, because they don't know who it is at first, obviously, because of the anonymity. I can't even say that right. I know I'm not saying that right. but they don't, they continuously bash this person called Starbuck, but they don't know who he is, but they keep bashing him for fucking no reason. Like, he just fucking did what a lot of people do, which is, become a sperm donor. I mean, that's not fucking abnormal. It's fucking sperm clinic's fault that they used his sperm for like 533 children. It's not his fault. Fuck them. It's like, why are people bashing him? And even at one point, his girlfriend is like, oh, that Starbucks guy is really despicable. And like, when she finds out that he's the Starbucks guy, she kind of is like really mad about that. And like, what the fuck do you gotta be mad about? Like, really? Like, there's nothing to be really mad about. It's like, what did this guy apparently like? They make it out like he fucking is a criminal for what he did. Like, and the funny part about it is that the kids are fine with it. Why can't, if the kids are fine with it, why the fuck won't anybody else be fine with it? I never got that. And again, this concept is still pretty goddamn absurd. 500 kids, I'm not 100% sure that's possible. I could be wrong. Fuck it. I don't know. I do, like I said, I recommend this movie. I wouldn't recommend slightly, I guess I would say I slightly recommend it in the fact that I don't recommend seeing it like in the theater for full price. But it's not a bad movie. Check it out. I did get a couple new trailers, which I was really surprised by. I got some really weird ones. I got the new Muppets Most Wanted trailer. That's the first time I saw that. And I love Muppets a lot. And I love the first Muppets, the new Muppets movie that came out a couple years ago. That was my favorite film of 2011. And I'm kind of like, I'm like, they're kind of, first off, they don't have Jason Segel or Amy Adams. And this, Tina Fey, Ricky Gervais, who both I love to death. But at the same time, the trailer was like, I was like, it's the Muppets. I'll go see it one way or another. It kind of doesn't look as good as the first one, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't think the trailer for this one was as funny as the trailer for the first one. But, there was still parts of it. I laughed like Dave Trejo going, Waka Waka. That was pretty funny. I forget, there was a couple other stuff I forget off the top of my head, but it looked fine. It's like, it's the Muppets, I'll watch that. I got the Maleficent trailer, which was pretty interesting. Apparently, this is going to Oz, the Great and Powerful route, where they're gonna have a prequel to a fairy tale, like Sleeping Beauty now, which is really, because we gotta know what happened before Sleeping Beauty ever happened. Fucking stupid. But honestly, fuck, I'm not the only one, but fuck, this Angelina Jolie looked really frightening in that role. That looks really good. Like, I'm kind of convinced of her in that role. She looked really fucking scary in that. And that's supposed to be a kid's movie. They got a bunch of Kevin Hart trailers. They got Grudge Match, which I've gotten a million times, which I'm looking forward to. About Last Night, which I've seen that trailer for about a year now. And Ride Along, which is I got the new trailer for Ride Along, which actually looked pretty good. Actually really looking forward to that. I'm trying to think if there's something else that I've missed. I'm forgetting, but must be nothing that important. I think I'm forgetting something really good, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, those are the trailers I got, and really was surprised I got Maleficent. First I thought I walked in the wrong movie when I was getting Maleficent and Muppets Most Wanted. It's like, really? We get this in front of Delivery Man? That's not the target audience, dumbasses. But yeah, both of those movies I'm going to check out. It's really weird that we got Kevin Hart trailers, a bunch of Kevin Hart trailers. Like, God damn, this guy in everything. I love Kevin Hart. And apparently he's going to be in everything next year. But anyways, I'm gonna get off here. I'll be back next week. With what's that? Fuck, it was Out of the Furnace, Into the Furnace. I can't I keep forgetting what the title for that movie is. That one with Christian Bale and Woody Harrelson. That looks really good. I just can't remember the trailer off the top of my, or the name of the movie off the top of my head. Yeah, it looks really good. It's getting good reviews. I think it's coming to my movie theater. Hopefully it is. If not that, something. And I will be back eventually, sometime maybe this week, with Ender's Game. It just came to a cheap theater, so I'm gonna probably check that out very soon. So I'll be back with one of those two this week, and I'll talk to you guys later.